Hey there, I'm Derek, the co-founder at Ignition. Today I'm going to run you through the Ignition workflow as if I were at my old company Rippling, which as you can see here, we've already analyzed and populated a bunch of key info about when first creating the workspace. Before that though, for a bit of background, we built Ignition to help product teams build the right products and commercialize them more effectively. Ignition's built to manage the entire product lifecycle end to end and is the only tool that combines your company's context and our AI to automate every step from researching your market to identifying what to build to creating roadmaps, launch plans, and marketing collateral to bring it to market. With Ignition, one person can do the work of an entire sophisticated product and product marketing team and condense 90 days or more of launch planning down to about 90 seconds of actual work. But that probably seems like a lot to bite off all at once. So that's why Ignition is modular. So we made Ignition easy to take in bite-sized chunks. So you can use us for just competitive intel or just road mapping or any of these other bits and pieces that we support. But in this case, like I want to show you the whole workflow. So I'm going to add all of these to my onboarding plan, and then we're going to get rolling. So I'm going to use all these different tools, and the first step is to analyze my market. So let's talk about how Ignition uses battle cards to automate competitive intel. So you can see here that I'm just going to drop in a competitor's URL here. In this case, I'm going to use Gusto, which is one of Rippling's competitors. And so I drop in this competitor's URL, and then Ignition's automatically tracking dozens of data points about that competitor, as well as analyzing all that data to provide guidelines for how to sell against them. So as you can see here, we're pulling in a battle card, which is where we're generating the talking points and giving you firmographic data on the company. We're also pulling in recent news, snapshots of their website, attachments that you've added from your sales team, as well as SEO data and review scores. From there, we're analyzing all that context and we're generating talking points for how to sell against them. So we're actually looking at not just, your content and their content, we're looking at their website, their review scores, etc., and pulling out strengths, weaknesses, how to sell against them, and then details on their products and pricing as well. It's also super easy to get this into sales' hands because we allow you to export it directly and embed it directly into Salesforce or HubSpot. Ignition also helps you conduct win-loss analysis, but let's save that for later and come back to it in a different video. So let's jump into how we actually help with analyzing customers as well. So I went in ahead of time and added a couple of customer customer reviews from Rippling's G2 page because I don't have access to their data. But in your case, you can actually connect a bunch of different data sources into Ignition. We'll aggregate all of this feedback. So you can use call transcripts from Gong and that your sales team is tracking. You can pull in support tickets from places like Intercom or Zendesk. You can also connect your CRM directly and we'll pull out deal notes. We easily extract all of that information, automatically summarize it, and also tag it and categorize it based on your product lines and the different types of feedback that we're pulling. And then from there, you can apply filters and create segments to analyze. And as you analyze these outputs, we're pulling out key insights into what your customers are saying, such as common feature requests, strengths, weaknesses of the product, as well as marketing insights like what language are customers using to talk about the product, what are the things that are driving value for them, and a bunch of other interesting insights there as well. So you probably saw this little card pop up that was suggesting that we go check out our backlog as well. So the real magic in what we do with all this feedback data isn't in just pulling out thematics. The real magic is actually how we use it to build out a workflow for you and create a real AI-driven roadmap. So let's actually connect a tool in this case. So I'm going to actually go and connect my Salesforce integration. And what this does, as you can see here, we've got this product gaps integration, which allows us to basically pull out feature ideas from our CRM data and then add those to our roadmap automatically. So I'm just going through a quick little OAuth flow here. All I'm doing is logging in with my Salesforce credentials and then it's connecting. It's a very simple integration flow. And in order to actually enable this, I'm gonna enable the product gaps feature, set it up to actually create product ideas automatically. And I'm gonna go back to let's go say we go back to January here to pull out some ideas. And so we'll go back to January, pull out all the features that have happened since then. I'm just going to map my opportunity object and then my opportunity long notes, which is where this feature gap lives in my CRM data. And then I'm going to hit continue. And this is going to take a couple minutes, but basically what's happening here is we are importing all of that CRM data. We're also importing the account architecture from the CRM. And then once we've connected that, it lets you use AI to automatically and continuously identify product features from sales data and map that to customer accounts so that you can prioritize what to build and automatically notify the sales reps that are responsible for those accounts when those features ship. So let's let this load in for a second. It's going to take a couple minutes, but basically what we're doing is we're populating all this stuff in. And as you can see here in the build section of the product, this is also where we're managing roadmaps as well as, product OKRs and then all of our development tasks as well. So you can also integrate into Jira, import and sync all of your development data so that you can track progress for all the roadmap items that you're working on. So let's let this load in. It's going to take a couple of seconds, but it looks like, okay, we got all of our ideas. So they populated in here. And as you can see here, we actually automatically mapped all the deals that these ideas came from to these features. So we can see the aggregate revenue impact of building these things. And once these things are on the roadmap, we make it really easy for you to just push them directly into your actual roadmap once you're ready to build them. So let's actually take a couple of these and we're going to create a roadmap, promote these directly to the roadmap. So we're going to add it to our product roadmap. And from there, they all end up here. Our roadmap, we can slice and dice this in a whole bunch of different ways, view and display it in Kanban views, timeline views, etc. So it makes it very easy for you to manage the roadmap itself. But the cool thing is when these roadmap items actually ship, we fire all of the reps who are responsible for these deals a notification. So we say, hey, this roadmap item just got marked as complete. And then from there, we're going and we're notifying all of the sales reps who are responsible for those deals that this feature shipped. So we send all of them a notification that looks something like this, that includes what the deals are that they're responsible for, as well as how much those deals are worth, and then what features shipped to unblock those deals. So it makes it very easy for them to go close upsell opportunities on smaller releases. But let's say these are bigger releases and you actually want to build a whole go-to-market plan around them and you want to really do a launch campaign, right? So in this case, you can actually package up a couple of different features into a go-to-market plan. So we can create a go-to-market plan from this. We're actually going to carry through all the appended context that informed these roadmap items getting built. So in this case, we had a couple of product ideas that informed it. If you've attached any competitors, personas, insights, etc., we'll pull that through as well. And so we're going to say that we're launching a new integration suite. And we're going to pick a launch date here sometime in the future, and we're launching some new integration. So we're going to create this launch. And from there, basically what we do is we help to generate this entire launch plan for you. So we create this plan and we can use this Copilot flow to generate our entire plan, as well as the Copilot to generate all of the strategy, positioning, messaging, etc. within that plan. So we're going to walk through this. I'm just going to skim through this super fast. All we do is you really don't need to engage with this if you want to just trust our AI to generate it for you. But you can add personas into the plan, and then from there we generate your entire campaign channel plan, like where you should be thinking about communicating this launch, the assets that you need to create in order to support that campaign plan, as well as the actual project plan for what you need to get done in different stages of that launch plan in order to bring those things to life. So then we create all of that stuff. We populate it into this overall launch plan where you can manage all of your objectives, your timelines, your briefing documentation, the copy and assets within your plan, as well as all of your tasks. And then within this plan, we also have this embedded Copilot flow to help generate things like your launch objectives. We've already added our target audience. You can generate your positioning strategy and your messaging. So I'm not going to go through all of those for the purposes of this demo, but let's just generate some messaging real quick. So I'm going to use some copy that I kind of pre-wrote here that gives a brief description on the thing that we're shipping. And I'm going to submit this. And our AI is going to actually look at all the other context in the launch plan. So if we had filled in positioning, messaging, or filled in positioning and objectives and some of the other parts of the launch plan, we would be pulling that in. But in this case, we're just going to generate some messaging for this plan. And it's going to give us an entire best practice based messaging structure contextualized based off of all that info that we already passed into this plan. So we get our value proposition, our elevator pitch, the reasons to believe, as well as some use cases and outcomes. From there, you can actually use all the tools within our plans to do things like generate copy for this launch. So when I'm ready to actually start creating all the assets to support it, I can generate an entire campaign worth of assets, all based on the channels that I'm running activity on. We pre-selected all of these, and then we've pre-populated from our messaging object all of the description, and then the connected objects that we had in the launch plan are also showing up here. So all of this stuff is used to feed our AI model and generate contextualized, best practice-based copy for your launch. So that it's all based on not just your messaging, but also the customer language and product information that informed building this thing. So we generate all this collateral, and from there, you can actually save it directly into an asset library, which is all automatically tagged and sorted and grouped based off of your product lines, the launch plan itself, as well as the channels that these assets are going to be used on. So we'll let this generate for a second. It's going to take a couple of minutes just because we're passing a ton of data into this to make sure that the copy that comes out on the other side is not just generic AI-based copy, but it's actually really on brand, on message, and fully aligns with your company's way of talking about your products. So we generated all this stuff. As you can see here, we've got our product blurb. We've generated a couple different variations of it, so you can choose which ones you want to keep or discard. And then from there, I can actually export this, directly into my asset library. I'm just going to save this into my launch plan, and I'm not going to save all the other ones right now because I'm a little busy, and we're just going to move on to our launch plan. So we've stored this in our asset library. And from there, the last step here is announcing all of this stuff and briefing your internal teams with the context from your launch brief. So when I'm ready to enable my sales and success teams, or let's say I want to just share an update with the executive team, I can easily push information outwards to email or to Slack if I have Slack connected. And as I create these updates, I can share with, in this case, let's share with myself. And I'm going to send a update which contains just the bits and pieces of information that are relevant to the stakeholder. So in this case, I'm going to share with myself just a summary of status. We haven't done anything here, so it's all showing as NA. But we're going to share our messaging, and we want to get this into sales' hands. So from there, I'm going to hit send here, and it's going to send everybody on the other end a email or Slack message that contains all of the critical information for that individual, so you can share just the right information with just the right people in just the right place at just the right time. And that's basically how Ignition helps bring things to market end to end. So with Ignition, you can better align product and go-to-market teams while operationalizing your process to save thousands of hours of work and drastically improve the revenue impact of the product work that you've invested in. So if you're curious to learn more, please get in touch and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.